EA Sports FIFA 20 sponsors Saturday Social.
Frank, in front of me I have some of the most searched questions about Frank Lampard on the internet, and you're going to attempt to answer some of them now. How are you feeling?
I'm worried.
You're worried, are you?
No, I'm okay.
Everyone says
Have you
that.
filtered these?
A little bit, yeah, we filtered them a
Okay.
bit. First one.
Right.
Who did Frank Lampard support when he was young?
West Ham. Grew up, Dad played for West Ham for 20 years. So I lived in the area, pretty local, and his family were West Ham. So it was my, I got an inside track into the training ground in the tunnel. Tony Cottee and McAvenny were my heroes at that point.
Were they?
Yeah.
So, nice first question. Not too
Good,
bad.
yeah, nice, yeah.
Right, move on. Next one. Has Frank Lampard got an A star in Latin?
Yes, I do. I got an A star in Latin, more through application than talent for Latin.
Really?
I would say. Yeah, I don't know how I did it. As I say, in terms of application, I was quite a good boy at school. I wanted to do well. I wanted to please my teachers and my parents back home. And Latin was one. I think I probably just crammed in a lot of revision at the right time. Managed to get an A star, which everyone's so surprised about.
A lot of people search for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I get asked it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, which is for me. It's like I couldn't, recite too much Latin to you now.
That was my next question. Can you give us some Latin?
Only a moa, mas, a mat, a mamus, a martis, a mant. I love, you love, he loves, the verbs.
I did a bit of Latin at a very, towards GCSE level. Caecilius est in horto, does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, Caecilius and Quintus came up a lot.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what that means, but...
No, that's exactly, yeah. I'm older than you, I know that, but I went through the same.
Okay, next up. Similar type of question, this actually. What is Frank Lampard's IQ?
I don't know the exact, I got measured by Brian English, the doctor here, when I was playing. It was actually when John Terry got his head bang in the Arsenal League Cup final at the time. So we all went for the IQ test to get some sort of line for us that they could test us in future to see if we had took a head bang, etc.
Really?
Yeah, that was the reason for doing the whole team. So I casually went and did it, and it was a typical IQ test. Felt like a lot of memory stuff, and that went for it and come back with 150 something.
Wow. So to put that into perspective, 90 to 100 is the average IQ. If you're over 120, you're considered superior, and over 136 is only 1% of the population. Yeah. So working out my maths, you must be in the top 0.5% of the population with your IQ.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It is good, and that's another thing I get asked a lot. And again, people are really surprised, really surprised about it. But no, I don't know. I've officially retired from my IQ test just in case I do another one, and it turns out that was just a mad number that came up.
I mean, that is so high. You've obviously had a very successful career as a player, started a very successful career as a manager. Once you finish football, do you feel like you have a calling to go into education or somewhere, or use that knowledge, scientist?
No, I don't actually. No, I'm going to rest after that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hopefully focus on my football and then have a good rest. But no, I'm pretty proud of it. But I don't know.
Fair play. Okay, next one. What did Harry Redknapp say about Frank Lampard?
Is this the video?
I think that's referring to the famous video.
Yeah, he's going right to the top or something like that.
But I'm telling you now, and I didn't want to say this in front of him, but he will go right to the very top. Right to the very top.
This popped up again a couple of years ago online, and obviously happened a long time, I was 17, and I took a bit of stick from a West Ham fan at a West Ham fans forum. Who was the uncle of one of the other players who was competing with me to try and get into the team.
I didn't know that bit.
Yeah, so he was related to it. I didn't know that at the time. And obviously he had his say, and Harry brilliantly defended me from my point of view, because I was gobsmacked. I had nothing to say. I was 17, chubby face curtain, sitting there going, get me out of this room. Do you know what I mean? I just
that was
didn't
what
want
I was
any
going
part
to
of
ask, because it's such an iconic clip that I've seen it so many times, but you are just quiet throughout it, quite rightly, because obviously the question is directed to Harry, but what is going through your mind when that is being posed?
I hated it. Looking back, I felt it was really bullish, from someone to do it in front of a room, but then cowardly at the same time. The big thing of it that comes out of it, I couldn't care about the bloke at all. But Harry to back me to that level at that age, when Again, I don't know if Harry actually certainly knew that, because at the time, I was so far down in development of what I might have become. But when you listen to your manager say that, and then certainly now when I look back on it, I'll go, thanks very much, Harry, because that sort of support as a manager is everything you'd want.
How much of an impact has Harry Redknapp had on you? Obviously, you're related, as we know. How much of an impact has he had now that you've gone into management? Because he's had such an amazing career as a manager. Has he really helped you in that journey?
Yeah, he has. I saw him last night, actually, and he was huge in me getting the job at Derby, because he's close to Mel Morris, and he basically put me forward. And then I spoke to Mel, and hopefully, we came together, and the rest obviously happened. But Harry started that process. So without Harry, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Really?
Because I don't think I wouldn't have got the Derby job. And the year that happened there, he was always in contact with me last year. Remains in contact with me now through good or bad results. Always a good sounding board. And I'm hugely thankful to what he's done in my managerial career.
Brilliant. Top man as well, Harry.
Yeah.
Top man. Right, next one. What is Frank Lampard's favourite film? So you see, we're getting a real mix here. These are what people are searching about you.
Yeah.
People want to know what your favourite film is.
Now, I haven't watched a film for so many years now.
Years?
Years.
Wow.
I haven't watched a film because the busyness of this job does affect some of that, I suppose. But going more into series now, don't we? We all watch series.
What are you into?
What am I into at the minute? I'm watching The Capture there's a BBC One. The Capture, which was good, like a 6-parter. I think I'm in 3rd or something. And but I've been on all the what was the recent one? I can't think now. Netflix. But again, I haven't watched so much because I'm always watching games and opponents and all that stuff. Film, I'm trying to go back to. I was very much into the sort of the gangster mafia ones, and I would have been into Godfather and Goodfellas and all that stuff.
Classics.
I would have watched all that stuff. Yeah, the classics. I'm sorry, that's not a modern answer, but that's kind of.
They are classics, though, aren't they?
They are.
Bit of Shawshank, bit of thrillers as well.
Shawshank, loved Shawshank. Loved Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. Was a huge De Niro fan as I grew up. Loved those sort of gritty ones. Deer Hunter. Showing me age here, but that's probably the last
films.
kind of films I watched.
Can't argue them.
Yeah.
What other sports does Frank Lampard like?
Cricket.
Big cricket fan?
Yeah, I do like my cricket.
What year this year's been for cricket?
It's been an amazing year, and the Ben Stokes innings was just something. I watched it at home.
Yeah. You're talking about the Ashes Ben Stokes?
The Ashes Ben Stokes one.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, I know he's in the World Cup as well, what he did, but the Ashes one was some of the most sort of gripping sporting TV I've ever seen.
Yeah, I thought that as well, because I'm a massive cricket fan. I thought the World Cup final itself, I struggled to think of a sporting event than the World Cup final, which was so gripping. And then we had the Ashes as well. It's an unbelievable summer for cricket, wasn't it?
I had a bit of a nightmare with the World Cup final, because I was watching it with my wife in the pub. We were having a couple of drinks, and it got to the end, and I thought that was it. We're blocked.
Before the Super Over?
So we walked home, and then I got home. Yeah.
Before the Super Over?
Yeah, before the
Wow.
Super Over. So I got home and went, that's it, that was done. And Christine wasn't really watching it. She's not bothered too much, But I was like, I've lost here. And got home and realised what I needed.
Wow.
You're the first person I've told that. 'Cause I just wore it.
There you go.
The next day I just wore it. I was going, Super Over was amazing. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't even watch it.
So you
live.
missed one of England's greatest sporting moments.
I watched it back afterwards. It's not the same though, is it? When you know it.
Unbelievable. And then the Ashes was unbelievable as well. So cricket, you put there. Any other sports you're into? Bit of golf?
No, I don't play golf.
Don't play golf?
No, people expect you to play golf. I don't play golf. I'm into a bit of rugby. When the Rugby World Cup's on recently, I'll be all over that. But cricket would be my main thing.
Okay, cricket. How is Frank Lampard related to Jamie Redknapp? Is another one that came up.
Yeah, we're cousins. So our mums are sisters. So they both married. Obviously, my dad and Harry were two young footballers at West Ham at the time. Our mums both worked in hairdressers, so they used to obviously. Harry and my dad went and chatted them up in their hairdressers or whatever they did, and the rest is history. So we're cousins. Yeah, we're close. We've always been close. I always looked up to Jamie as a young player. He was 4 years or so ahead of me in age. I was breaking through into sort of Liverpool's first team and stuff, and it was always looking up, trying to emulate what he was doing. Yeah,
and obviously we've spoken about you had an amazing career for Chelsea, but of course England as well, over 100 caps for England. What was that moment like when you were playing with Jamie Redknapp, your cousin? Because that's so rare, isn't it, two cousins to be playing for their national team? That must have been a very proud moment.
It was really proud. It was really proud, and certainly proud for the family. Probably more our parents. I certainly felt, because when you're in it, sometimes you're more nervous. It was my debut that I played with Jamie. And I was so nervous. You kind of worry about all the things in the game. Do you know what I mean? And get carried away in yourself. Looking back, hugely proud moment for all the family.
Yeah. Okay, next up. What is Frank Lampard's favourite goal?
it's a hard one. I mean, emotionally, the 2 goals I scored at Bolton when we won the league in 2005 that won us the league. So that's not 1, it's obviously 2. But emotionally, they are goals I look back on and really do get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Technically, probably a goal I scored against Bayern Munich in 2007, I think it was, like a chest and a left foot volley.
Yeah.
Probably technically the best, but those 2 at Bolton were the ones that really get me
A
going.
lot of players say that. It's not the goals they pick are down to what it's meant for them rather than the actual technique behind the goal.
Yeah, and you know, moments, celebratory moments. Like when I broke the record, I remember at Villa, it was a really simple tap in, but what it meant to me and the fact then that the fans went so mad at Villa, on the pitch and that. A few of them got banned. I don't think they should have done, but that's another thing. I just appreciate them being so supportive. I get told off for saying that, but the players and the club, everyone, it was an amazing moment. So yeah, I mean, there are different feelings. I get that what you say. You have different feelings for different goals.
How hard is it to remember all of them? Because as I alluded to there, Chelsea's record scorer, 4th highest Premier League score of all time, the highest scoring midfielder of all time. How many goals can you actually remember? Because you scored so many.
Yeah, I do occasionally sit back and watch, parts of goal, and sometimes there are ones that I go, oh yeah, I remember that now. Do you know what I mean? When you watch it, yeah, because there's quite a few, some of the goals, but generally I'm pretty good with that. I was always, very driven to score more and more and more. It was sort of a huge part of my game, obviously, from midfield. So I think I logged them all. Do you know what I mean? Everyone meant a lot to me, so they're there. They are still there.
You don't keep a scrapbook. I know you said Tony Cottee was one of your idols, Sky Sports as well. He keeps a scrapbook of every goal he's ever scored. His knowledge is amazing.
Is that because some of those are not on the TV records?
Yes, I think it is.
Sorry, Tony.
I love that one. Yeah.
No, I get that. I think if you are a lover of scoring goals, obviously strikers are supposed to be, and midfield players you might not think that so much. And I think you do have your little things like that. I don't log them, but I know what he means. Yeah.
Okay, last question. What is Frank Lampard's favourite moment as a footballer?
Winning the Champions League.
Straight away?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be in a great era here with great teammates, and we won quite a few trophies, but the Champions League, having tried for, nearly 10 years, missed out for different reasons in semis and a final, and then to win it, what it meant to this club collectively.
Yeah.
All the family and friends were there, the fans in Munich, what it meant to Chelsea fans worldwide was huge.
And of course you were captain that day as well.
Yeah, and just to be a part of it, we were all mates. We've been in it a long time. We probably all, looking back, understood it was probably our last chance to do it, because I think I was 33, Didier would have been around that. So we're getting towards our 30s and more. And it was a special story. How we got to the final was like fairy tale stuff, the way it went. And that memory of that night in Munich is, so up there. It's out on its own.
Frank, love that. Thanks for your time. I'm going to brush up on my IQ and my Latin now.
Yeah, cheers.
Top man.
All right, thanks.